The church has always been considered necessary for salvation. And at times in the history of the church, this has become a very exclusive notion. In fact, St. Cyprian's dictum, extra ecclesiam nulla salus, outside of the church there is no salvation, this was never meant to be taken as if you don't belong to the Catholic Church, you go to hell. Rather, it was meant to be a warning to Christians who were apostatizing, who were leaving the faith because of pressure from governments, pressures from society. And so we see that indeed the church has always authentically interpreted the fact that the church is necessary for salvation, but not meant to be at the exclusion of those who are not a part of the Catholic Church. And this came to head during the Second Vatican Ecumenical Council between 1962 and 1965. And the way the church dealt with this in her dogmatic constitution on the church, Lumen Gentium, we see in the very first paragraph that the church is the sacrament and instrument of salvation for all humanity. And so what do we mean that the church is a sacrament? Well, the word sacramentum, Latin, is where in Roman law we see a holy oath. So when we had in ancient Rome a holy oath, that was a guarantee of something. So it was the contract that you could never ever break. Because if you were to break a sacramentum or attempt to, then that would mean your own life. So the sacrament and that language of sacrament was adopted by the church to express the great sacred mysteries in which the presence of God is made real and effective. So the sacraments became the guarantees of the presence of God in our life and in this world. So a sacramentum, it would be like a stop sign, but not a stop sign that merely symbolizes something. But imagine if you were driving your car and you came up to a stop sign. You shouldn't, but you could go right through that stop sign. But what if the stop sign had the independent means, the independent power, agency, to stop your car? Then it would be a sacrament, because it was an efficacious sign. It actually does what it signifies. And so when we say that the church is the sacrament of salvation, then we say that the church does what it signifies. It doesn't just signify that it brings forth salvation, it actually effects the salvation for all. And we see that all those who have faith in the existence of God and trust in God's divine providence for their salvation in accord with Hebrews 11:6 are all related somehow to the church. And by the Holy Spirit, by a way known only to God, their faith, their trust in God's divine providence unites them with the church so that they can receive salvation, because God wields the church the way we might write with a pen. And he uses the church as his sacrament, as his instrument to bring about the salvation for all humanity.